Greetings to the graduates of the class of 2020. It's been a long time since I've seen all of you, and even now I can't see all of you. But when I think back on your senior year, I do have pictures of you, and I see you participating as seniors at BHS. You showed up in August in your orange and black to welcome the incoming freshmen. You began your classes, your rehearsals, and your practices as usual. You took tests, you competed in games, you took on challenges. You had your individual achievements and your team successes. The days passed. Panther, Pride Days, First Block, Advisory, Senior Privilege, and as did the regular calendar of the school year. First quarter report cards, Halloween, the college application process, ROTC general inspection, the pep rally, the school play, Panther Student of the Month, winter break, midterm exams, February vacation, second semester, the winter sports season, semifinals, and conference games. You know what else I remember about this school year? The wind. Remember, we only had one snow day, but we had 2 days for wind. It was a very windy spring, too. Think about the times this year that we heard the wind howling at night and woke up to broken tree branches strewn around in the street. This image of the wind has stuck with me. It seems to be that the school year is about the wind. This year, it's about the very air we breathe. Then COVID-19 burst into our daily lives, and we learned to be cautious about airborne droplets. We had to be aware of what we inhaled and what we exhaled. No one thought in March that we wouldn't be back together again in a short time, but here we are, still in our masks, still social distancing. And now we see our country, our people demanding justice for those who can't breathe. We see that we need to confront the history of injustice and inequality. We see the winds of change blasting through our country. Ironically, class of 2020, we are the living embodiment of a history lesson from your social studies text. We are the people in the chapter, in the book, the revolution, the Great Plague, the Civil War, the Depression, the Renaissance. The times that we're living in are perfectly described in literature. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way. Charles Dickens used those words to describe a turbulent time in history. He described a time of misdirection, of swirling ideas, conflicting emotions, great injustices, and great confusion. We are living in a stormy, turbulent time as well. I wish that wasn't so. It would be better and easier if everything could go back to the way it was before the whirlwind came. That we could go back into the regular routine and cycle. That all Beverly traditions stay intact. That you had your spring sports season, your opening night, your internship, your senior week, your prom, your graduation at Hurd. No disruption, no change. I know that that is a loss that your parents are struggling with. I know your parents want you to have the best of everything, and they want the city of Beverly to celebrate your achievements. Know that our community does recognize your contribution and knows that you are valuable to Beverly. But what should be most valuable to you is your individual achievement, the personal challenges you faced and overcame, and the knowledge that there are people in your lives who love and support you and always will. The BHS faculty and staff feel loss as well. They miss interacting with their students. They miss chatting with their colleagues. They've gone from the familiar to the unknown. Just as remote learning has been difficult for you, it has been difficult for them. It's been a struggle, but they know that you, our seniors, are worth the effort and the work. They believe in you. So, we've all had the wind taken out of us. We've all suffered loss and anxiety and uncertainty. It's as if we're in the middle of a hurricane or a tornado. What do we do? Where do we go? What is going to happen? What happens after a windstorm? We emerge from our shelter and look around. We see the damage and the mess and the loss. Then we start to pick up and clean up. We start to see the view differently. Something that once was in shadow is now in light. A tree is gone. We plant a new one. We begin again. People renew. They renovate. They restore. They reconcile. We learn to create opportunity out of difficulty and creation out of chaos. We rise. I know we as a community and as a country will rise. One of the reasons why I know this to be true is because of you. I've seen your capability and your potential. The class of 2020 has focus. That's why the members of this class can score 1,000 points in their high school basketball career, win NEC division titles, move to the next level of competition in DECA and the Mass Drama Festival, break 300-meter records, or become a national merit finalist. We know, you know what is important, and you understand the need for perseverance to get to your goal. I see that all the time. Students who work to pull up their grades, class officers and other student leaders who advocate for their class, athletes who stick to a workout routine even when the sports season is uncertain, people who show up to school even when there are obstacles and complications that make it hard to hang in there. Because of your determination, you have the power to move the world. The class of 2020 has compassion and creativity. You care about the world around you. You've raised money for important causes, Beverly Bootstraps, cancer research, the Australian wildfires, and the Northeast Animal Shelter. You've been chosen by your teachers and some of your peers as a Panther Student of the Month because you have exemplified the spirit of respect for yourself and others. You worked with one another in Key Club or on the unified basketball team and the composting program, and as peer leaders with Start With Hello and Say Something. You connect with others as classmates, as members of a cast or a team, in the Senior Breakfast Club, or with students at Beverly School for the Deaf. And this list does not include the 1,000 little acts of kindnesses that do not get tweeted out or awarded a certificate. Speaking out when someone is being bullied, getting a friend help when he needs it, being patient with others when they seem off that day. You design and produce and make wonderful things, art and theater and music and robotics. You bring a breath of fresh air. Wind can be threatening and destructive, but it can also offer comfort and refreshment. It can change the course of sails and sweep in change. It can foster inspiration. I see you, the class of 2020, as you move from BHS into your future as a new wind, a fresh breeze which will benefit us all. Thank you to the class of 2020, and I wish you nothing but the best of all the best.